Welcome to Childcare Rockstar Radio. I am your host, Kris Murray. Childcare leaders around the globe are breaking through challenges, leading the way in innovation, testing new best practices, and impacting children and families in a much more powerful and positive way than ever before. Each week, join me for interviews with early childhood leaders and experts that will leave you inspired to become the next childcare rockstar. Now, let's go. This is episode 158 of Childcare Rockstar Radio, featuring Michelle and Solomon Logan. Welcome back, folks. I am very excited to bring you in to this conversation that I have today with the Logans. They are based in Louisville, Kentucky, and they're going on center number 3. They have 3 centers. They're reopening center number 3. And so they are impacting, or will shortly be impacting, almost 450 children a day, which is just amazing. They've only been in the industry, in this work, for the last 5 or 6 years. And so for them to have built such an impact in their community in Louisville is outstanding and unusual, to be quite honest. For a husband-wife team, they faced a lot. You're going to hear their story on today's podcast, and you're going to fall in love with them just like I did. They've overcome a lot, and they're just beautiful souls doing this incredible work of early childhood. Before we get to that, I need to thank our sponsor. Today's sponsor is ProCare. ProCare Solutions can help you start the new school year off right with automation at an all-in-one price, no matter how many children are in your care. With ProCare, you get a fully integrated child care center management solution that includes tuition, billing, payment processing, and a childcare mobile app. ProCare also handles your attendance, staffing, enrollment, family engagement, reporting, and more. You can opt for an integrated ECE digital curriculum as well, all within ProCare. That's pretty darn cool, guys. ProCare saves time and money while making every day better for childcare providers and families. Are you ready to try ProCare? They are the largest in our industry. Check them out. Get 3 months free, 3 months free at procare.solutions/rockstar. That's procare.solutions/rockstar. All right. We are into mid-August if you're listening to this live as it releases. And I am currently, right now, if you're listening to this real time, I'm on a cruise. And I'm probably somewhere near the island of Santorini right at this very moment. Of course, I'm recording this intro in July before I get on the ship to cruise with my daughter for 2.5 weeks. Well, we're cruising for 2 weeks, and we're spending 3 nights in Barcelona at the end of the cruise and a couple nights in Rome before the cruise. So I'm very, very excited for this trip, and I can't wait to tell you all about it when I get home. Because Santorini, Greece, is one of my top go-tos on my travel bucket list. It's been at the top for quite some time. There's other places that I can't wait to go as well. And Barcelona, Spain has been on there as well. So I'm going to a bunch of places on this trip that I have never been before, including the tiny island country of Malta, and which is our stop right before we go to Barcelona, which is where we're going to get off the boat. But I'm very excited to take my daughter on this cruise and experience the Greek islands. We are Mamma Mia fans. And so if you watch the original Mamma Mia movie with Meryl Streep, you will remember that they were on a remote Greek island as mother-daughter growing up. And that's the story of the movie Mamma Mia. So Maeve and I have probably watched that movie like 20 times together. And so we're excited to have our own mother-daughter Mamma Mia journey on this cruise and go to Santorini, as well as a bunch of other Greek islands, Rome and Barcelona and Malta. So very, very excited. I can't wait to share that with you. I'll be posting pictures and doing some Facebook Lives from the ship on my personal page. So if you're not friends with me on Facebook, you can pop over and friend me. It's Kris Murray 66 is my actual profile ID. Facebook.com, Kris Murray 66, and you can friend me on my personal page till they won't let me get any more friends, and then we'll be full. which I think is pretty funny. I think they cap it off at like 5,000 friends. Facebook does. After that, you just have followers. So they're like, you can't have more than 5,000 friends. But I'd like to push that envelope and see how many friends I can make, including you, hopefully. So with that, I'm excited to share with you guys my summer adventures and then taking my daughter to college the first week of September, as I have mentioned, and excited and nervous all at the same time to have an empty nest and see what that feels like and experience life brand new in a lot of ways. In a way, it's like going back to your 20s. I don't have anybody else to take care of right now except for my dog, Ruby, once the kids are up and out. So, and myself. So it's kind of fun, it's kind of back to doing whatever I want to do and eating whatever I want for dinner and not worrying about taking care of other humans. So I'm excited about that. I hope that wherever you are, I'm sure you're taking care of lots of humans because you have a childcare center, most likely, or you're thinking about building one, buying one, creating one. And I am excited to do that alongside you vis-a-vis this podcast and vis-a-vis the Childcare Success Summit Conference, which is coming up quickly here in about 2 months. We will be in Orlando for the 13th annual summit, I forget. But we're very excited to probably welcome around 1,400 people, as well as Damon John and Vernon Mason and Kevin Brown as main stage speakers. And of course, myself, your host, Kris Murray. So I can't wait to see you in Orlando, hopefully. And if you still don't have tickets, I don't know if we're sold out at this moment, but you can go to childcaresuccesssummit.com and get yourself some tickets and join us. It's going to be the best summit ever. And we have a lot of new fun surprises, changes to the agenda, and more networking opportunities, more breakouts, more small group conversations will be happening in Orlando at the summit. With that, I will let you get to it. Let's meet Michelle and Solomon Logan here on the podcast at Childcare Rockstar Radio. Enjoy it and let's go. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I am very excited to introduce you to some new friends today. Michelle and Solomon Logan are welcoming to the podcast. How are you?
We are doing well, very well.
We're good. It's Thursday.
Excellent. Woohoo!
Thank God it's Thursday.
Thank God it's Thursday.
Our vacation week, too.
Yes.
Oh, nice. So welcome to the show. And where are you guys located? Where are you right now?
So we are in Louisville, Kentucky, and currently at our home office, away from the centers. Had to get some more quiet.
Yes. Lord knows it's sometimes very difficult to do that at the center.
Yes.
And honestly, it's difficult to do it here, too, when our kids are home. So daycare is in action. We're here. It's great.
Awesome. So tell us more about your business, the particulars of capacity, enrollment, how many locations, the size, anything like that you want to share with us. And of course, the name of your business.
All right. So we own Logan's Treehouse Childcare. We have been operating in Louisville, Kentucky for over 5 years now. We have 3 centers in the Louisville area with a total capacity of about 400.
Wow.
One of our centers is currently not open, but we're working to get that one back open. Okay. About 85% enrolled at the 2 centers that we do have open.
Okay.
And we do childcare. So that's what we do.
All right. And is your flavor of childcare more of a traditional play-based model, or are you Reggio, or would tell us more about that?
Yes, we're more of a traditional play-based model. Okay. Family-oriented. We thrive on basing everything around family. So for us, our kids actually are the age to be in the childcare. So we have an infant, we have a toddler, we have a school ager. So basically, our model is built around, like you said, the play base and just a family type atmosphere.
Cool. I'm curious about the center that is currently closed. Tell us more about the situation there. Did you intentionally close it, or what was the situation surrounding that?
Yes.
Yes. So we intentionally closed that center. We opened that center at the end of 2023, and Michelle was 2022.
No, 2021. 2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were having our fourth daughter, and we were trying to get that center up off the ground and going, and just finding the right staff, the right people, the right fit.
Yeah.
And
it was about a year. We had ran it for about a year, and we were at about 40% or no. Yeah, about 40% enrolled. And it's a little further out than our other two centers. So it's about 45 minutes drive to get there. I was 9 months pregnant in the hospital having, actually, no, we were actually in the hospital having our last child. And the director there, the only person that we did trust being there, she put in her 2 weeks. And I was like, well, I cannot step in right now because I'm going to be in postpartum. And then, so we ended up shutting it down, and it's been shut down. So yeah, that's fine.
And did most of your families move to one of your other two locations?
Yes. So we did have a good chunk of our families go to our largest center, which is licensed for 193. So we had the space to take a lot of those families there. And we thought about it, prayed about reopening it. Yes. And we're going to reopen this fall.
Cool. Yeah. So I love that, because not a lot of people talk about, the intentionality and being transparent around, this is what you have to do as business owners, right? Is sometimes you're in a situation that you're like, you know what, right now it's best for us just to shift the families, close that for, and just take a breath, take a beat. And not a lot of people are willing to do that. If some people see that as failure, some people see it as, a misstep and I don't think you need to look at it that way. It's a strategic decision that is best for you and your family and your business. And then you can come back to it. You don't have to see it as a failure. It's just a learning opportunity,
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I love that.
That's exactly what it was. It was a learning opportunity. So going into it now, I think we're definitely more equipped and better timing.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't talk about timing.
Yes.
You can't jump into everything right away and just expect things to bloom. Some things take time, and sometimes it's the wrong timing.
Yeah.
And for us, we learned that. And
which, thank God, we do have the building. Now we have that opportunity because we didn't give it up. We did continue to stick with it. And so we're excited. We're going to be rolling out a branding and getting our pre-enrollments and just do things right this time.
Yeah.
Sometimes as entrepreneurs, you kind of jump ahead of the gun, and it works out sometimes. And sometimes you just take a step back and just be like, okay, let's redo this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. So tell us a little bit. You've been doing this for 5 years. I guess my first question to you on your journey is, what was the original inspiration to get into being a business owner of early childhood? It's not necessarily, there's challenges with any business. And so usually people that come into it have some kind of a strong why or vision or purpose. So tell us more about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for us, our strong why was when it was time to take our oldest son, who's 6, to childcare. And our backgrounds are both in corporate America. And we were going to drop him off, and we were horrified at some of the things that we saw.
Wow.
When it came time to enroll him. And
I think you said you cried.
Yeah. So the first time I dropped him off at daycare, I pulled up, and I don't know what it was, Kris. It was almost just like, I can't believe, I almost felt bad that I was doing that to my son.
Right.
And I sat in the parking lot. I was late to work. I sat in the parking lot and just cried, like, this can't be possible. And then we talked, and I was like, just imagine if we feel this way about our son, just imagine the hundreds, if not thousands of other moms and dads that feel the same exact way, but they have no choice. They have to take their kid to those places that they don't want to, or be babysat by someone who they truly don't want their kid there. And from then on, it just went from 1 to 100. Like we were like, okay, we can do this. We can make this happen. What's the next step? Mm-hmm. And that lit that fire. And that's still the fire that's going today, is every family we encounter and that we see, it's okay, they need us. Mm-hmm. And what we're doing is solving a problem in our communities everywhere that we put a new location. So.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that story. With your desire to be there for families, having a family-focused brand, when you then took your vision and you decided to jump in to actually creating this vision and making it real, what are some of the actual features in your schools that support or that were important to you to have it be family-focused or just child-focused features and benefits that you built in to help you differentiate and just be top-notch?
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say one of those is strong relationships. Yeah. Because, we did experience taking him to a different childcare center, and it was just transactional. It was just dropping my son off, picking my son up, dropping my son off, picking my son up. And even he didn't like that. He honestly, he hated it. But we strive to make that family like atmosphere and build strong relationships with our families. Beyond just childcare, whether that's, we have other entrepreneurs that are part of our centers, hairstylists, barbers, and we promote them throughout our centers just because we believe in the spirit of entrepreneurship. And
nice.
So that's something we definitely pride ourselves on, is relationships, building strong relationships, even with our directors, making sure, hey, more than anything, build strong relationships with your families, their children, and you'll succeed.
Yeah. And then too, with our directors, we really push to make sure that our teachers feel family as well. So from the staff to the director, doing outings or doing special events, things like that, just to get the camaraderie up, the culture up. And that really rubs off on the kids as well.
We took our staff to Nashville.
Yeah.
Right before the summit. We actually.
Oh, yeah. No. It was right after, because we really liked it. Yeah.
Okay.
We really liked it.
So we went down to the summit in Nashville.
Okay.
Really loved it. We enjoyed it. And we came back and we told our staff, hey, get ready.
All right.
We're taking a trip to Nashville. And
nice.
Thank them some kind of way for helping us make it through COVID and after. So we were kind of something. And then when we had the summit in Nashville, it was like, this is perfect. We have so much to do.
It was literally right down the road from us.
Yeah.
Nashville's 2 hours from us. So
nice.
A big old van and drove everybody down there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I love team experiences and activities and team building trips and stuff. So that's really, really cool. So let's talk a little bit about your home life. So you obviously have kids. Tell us more about the ages of your kids and what you guys do for fun.
What do we do for fun?
We don't have any time for fun right now. What are you talking about, Kris?
Time for fun? We go to the masterminds for fun. That's what we do.
Right.
No, we have, so we have 4 kids. We have 1 boy. He's the oldest. He's 6 years old. And we have 3 girls. We have our 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 10-month-old. Life for us right now outside of work is very routine and very structured. Like we live a pretty structured life. Throughout the week, we don't really do too much. We come home, make dinner, ask everybody how the day was, and then everybody goes to their little corners and they just chill until it's time to go back to bed and start over.
Right.
And on the weekends, well, we like to swim and do family stuff. We're really family oriented. So we do a lot of family stuff. Yeah. And then so serious when we go to masterminds for fun.
Right.
And it's me and him. And next week, actually, we're taking a family vacation.
Well, we did take Vanessa to the summit.
Oh, yeah, we did take Vanessa to the summit.
Nice.
She was like 6 years old, but that was cool.
Okay.
She looked good. You didn't even hear her, did you?
No, we didn't. Was she in the audience?
Yeah.
Yes.
She was? Oh, that's cute. No.
That for anybody, actually.
No.
Yeah. Well, we do, of course, allow babies and children in the audience at the Childcare Success Summit, of course, right? It's about childcare. But you can get more out of it if you do find a sitter or have a different arrangement, I will say, because it can be distracting, but it's a thing. So with that, what is a fun fact about the two of you that you would like to share that not that many people know?
What's your fun fact?
Say definitely for me is I feel like I have a calling to be like a pit boss or barbecue master. I make briskets.
He does.
And it's went from my wife loving them to now my family loves them. Now her side of the family loves them. And every holiday, everybody's like, hey, you making a brisket? Hey, you making barbecue? Hey, you smoking wings? Are you doing something? And it's really something I enjoy. I don't even really eat the food. I just enjoy making it for everybody and everybody enjoying it. So
we eat them. We eat it. We eat it. It's really good. Barbecue might be the next endeavor.
Yeah.
All right. And Michelle, how about you?
I was thinking about this. A fun fact for me, I feel like would be, I was born in Miami, Florida, which not a lot of people know. And I lived there for some of my childhood. And then when my mom relocated to Louisville, Kentucky, I ended up in Louisville, Kentucky. And here I am.
All right. And how long have you guys been married?
We're coming up on 10 years in January.
That was a quiz for Solomon. I was quizzing him, making sure he knew.
Usually I'm the one, but I've been, 10 years you can't.
I did good, Kris. I did good.
You did. You passed the test. Congratulations. I'm not going to ask you your anniversary date. I'm not going to make it that hard.
Please don't.
But no, I love what you were saying about earlier about from transactional to relational. Like that, to me, speaks to so many people's hearts in this service business that you're in. It's still a business. You have to treat it like a business. That's what we teach in the academy. But to have it be a heart-centered business where it doesn't feel transactional for families, it feels relationship and relational. So I feel like you're bringing that to Louisville and you're doing really well with it because your enrollment is very strong. You're growing. Do you guys own your own buildings or are you leasing? Just curious.
So we are currently in the process of purchasing the 2 locations, and we leased the third. Mm-hmm. So 2 in the process of purchasing and 1 lease.
Yay.
So that's exciting.
And we're really excited about that.
Can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to add a lot of just good stuff to your balance sheet. It's going to add strength to the business because you'll own your own buildings and you can be in control.
Yes.
Of your expansion or of your management and your maintenance and all that. So that's great. Congratulations. Did you guys go through an SBA process with that or did you use a private lender? How did you guys, how are you? SBA. Okay, cool. And how's that process working for you? Is it positive?
Positive. It's working pretty smooth. Had a few little hiccups, but it's looking strong.
Yeah.
So, and the landlord, he's awesome. Yeah. So he's been working with us on certain things and
absolutely.
We're just counting down the days.
Yes.
All right. That's fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about owning and running a business with your spouse. We're going to get into it. And I have done that. I started this company with my ex-husband. We had really good experiences and we had some struggles like any couple, I would think. So do you guys have a strategy around how you keep the business in its container and then not let it come into your home life? Or do you have roles and responsibilities and clear lanes of definition? Tell us more about your strategies of how you make this work for a husband and wife duo.
Now, so when we first started, we absolutely did not.
Man.
Lots of arguments, lots of just being all over the place. But I would say probably our second year in the business, we came up with a strategy of responsibilities and roles. I do this, you do that. And now we're at the point, our biggest challenge has been just learning when to cut it off.
Yeah.
Because we're both, like people say opposites attract. I feel like we're so alike in so many ways. And when it comes to business, like I'm cutting it off and then she's coming in, hey, what do you think about this? And then She's like, okay, I'm done. Then I come in, I get something. And she's like, okay, what? I come in, I'm like, hey, what do you? Yes. So we're still working on that part of learning when to completely cut it off.
Yeah.
Because as an entrepreneur, I seen a meme and it was like regular people when they sleep and they had nothing over the head. And then it showed entrepreneur. And then it's like just 1,000 things that you think of that need to be done or that you want to do. So, but definitely much better now. We have categorized responsibility and roles, and it's working good.
Yeah, I'll say it's working good. Like you said, in the beginning, it was like, yeah, it was not working good. But now with having our roles separated, Solomon deals more so with finances and the overseeing, like the visionary, and then I deal more with the operations and the directors reporting directly to me. And that has worked really well, kind of keeps us in our lanes. But even like when we're excited to come home and tell each other about work. Normal people do that, so like we still talk about the excitement of the third center or, our new signs going up or things like that. And our kids hear it all the time. So we talk about work a lot. But what I think we learned too is like letting your partner know whenever you're in the red or when you're in the orange in between and when you're green, so there's some days I'll come home and I'm in the red. Like I do not want to hear nothing about childcare at all. I don't want to hear, my mind does not want to grow today. Like nothing, don't want to hear anything. And then sometimes, he's the same way. So it's just kind of really communicating that. It's not that you don't want to hear it, but just not right now.
Yes. I love that. That's a great boundary practice.
Yes.
What you're describing and using the colors is great. I've also heard it described as numbers on a 1 to 100. Brene Brown talks about with her spouse that she would like ideally for them to both they're never both 100. Sometimes one's like a 40 and one's a 60. So they can do a good combo to get to 100. Sometimes they're both 20s and they both are just depleted. And they were like, on those nights, we literally put our feet up, order a pizza and put on Netflix and pour some wine. Like that's literally what we do because so I love that. You're just checking in with each other, whether it's a color or, a number or some kind of framework where you're setting and then using it to communicate.
Absolutely.
To
especially
each other.
Really young kids. Like
yes.
The other night I was like, I'm like on 1%. I really feel like I'm on 1%. So can you go lay all the kids down, please? And typically we tag team or communication is huge and it really does help balance business, home, all of that.
Yeah.
So.
And I would say with that, Kris, as well, is one thing that I love the most about it is there's nothing more rewarding than achieving milestones and accomplishments though with your spouse and being able to share those moments together because you both know like, man, this is where we started from. Look at what we just achieved or look at what's happening or look at what's going on now and just being able to share those moments together. So that's the rewarding part.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like when you do the work and you build a brand and you build a company and you look back at what you've done. Absolutely. I don't think there's anything that's more rewarding than that, other than raising your children, which you guys are doing. You're doing both, right? So I love that. Is there a time when you were really questioning this decision and you had to overcome a lot? Like you literally were at a place where you were at potentially a breaking point, either one or both of you, maybe early days or maybe recently. Is there anything you want to share around that?
I can think of a few, but one that comes to mind was when we had just opened up the business and we were both working at corporate America. So we were both waking up at like 5 a.m. going to the daycare. Luckily, it was right down the street at 6 a.m. Opening it up, wait till the teachers got there. And then we left and was at our 9 to 5 from like 8 to 5. And for 3 months we did that. And it was like, it was great, honestly. But then we ended up having to sell our first home. So we sold our home to help the business. And that was like a time we were like, I was like, what in the world are we doing? So we got our house together within like a month and we were both out there in the pouring rain, putting shingles on our house because we needed to get the equity out of our home to continue the daycare. So we were paying $5,000, I think, at that moment in payroll, and we needed money as we didn't have no startup money. So we ended up selling our home and moving into an apartment.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, is this what we really want to do? Is this
right.
what we want to do childcare? So that was the start of it. But even now looking back, I wouldn't have changed it for the world. We did a lot of things. We fixed up our house, we sold it, we got the equity out of it. And in the moments, I was we just this is a huge milestone. People get married, they buy a house, and it's happily ever after. And we're selling our house. So that was one thing. I'm sure you have one.
Yes. I would say in 2020, when we acquired our second center, we opened in January and COVID hit in March. And we took over a center that had roughly about 120 children and about 18 staff members. And so we took over in January, had to close it down by the end of March. And we lost, I would say, over half of those families.
Wow.
And probably 90% of the staff.
Yeah.
So
we were already trying to win them over.
Yeah, we were already trying to win them over. They were questioning who we are, what we're going to do, what we're changing up, and that happened. So we both looked at each other and was like, well, is this God's sign that we just need to
do this?
Hang it up and walk out the room and cut the lights off? But we didn't. We stuck with it. And
honestly, COVID was the best thing that's ever happened because we got a clean slate. We really did.
We did have a lot of toxic employees who we were planning to exit anyway, but we were able to let them go.
Yeah.
But in over half of your families,
especially with such a big center.
Yes.
But
that hurt a lot. So
So you just kind of, did you stay open and just operate for a handful of families and a couple teachers and just kind of cobble it together for a while and slowly rebuild?
We had to shut it completely down.
Okay.
No families, no teachers.
Okay.
But we did keep in contact with families throughout the closure through COVID. And as soon as they gave us the green light that we could reopen, we were on it.
Yep.
Did the state of Kentucky shut everything down?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I knew that Massachusetts did, and maybe, I don't know, Pennsylvania for a minute, but I didn't know that Kentucky did as well. Okay.
We couldn't even, they didn't even want people in the building.
We couldn't even do tours, virtual tours. They didn't want you. They wanted you at home.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's tough, but you weathered the storm. Is that when you found me? Was maybe at that virtual summit 2020, or when did you find
I think
our
it was
brand?
2019.
Yeah. So
2019.
Kris, we found you in 2019, but honestly, we didn't take it serious.
Yeah.
We were in the academy. We didn't attend our pod calls.
Right.
We didn't do the classes in the academy.
Mm-hmm.
And we just didn't take advantage of it. And in 2021, we actually got our stuff together.
Yeah.
Okay.
and recommitted and got aligned. And Kris, it's been the biggest impact and change in our businesses, attending those pod calls. And now 2022 was our first mastermind that we went to. And
the 2022 or this year?
This year?
Yeah, this year.
2023 was our first mastermind.
In Clearwater Beach?
No, it was 2022.
Clearwater's was our first mastermind.
All right.
I went to the summit and somebody said, if you're in the academy, you have to go to.
Yes.
I think it was the Childcare Rockstar last year. I think Tassia, and she was like, you're missing out. You're not getting your money's worth if you're not going to the masterminds. And that was probably, that's what I would tell anybody. If you are in the academy and you are paying the money, the website is not enough. And that's what we're honestly getting with and you will go here and there, but what is going to change your life is going to be getting on your podcast.
It's the meetings and the podcasts. Yeah.
Yes. And then you taking it serious, if childcare is what you do it and go all in. Don't hold back.
That's right.
meet your coaches. Like it's been a game changer for us. So 2019.
Yes. And then the community, like the community within the academy of being able to ask questions, the insights that some of the coaches give that just give you a complete different perspective than what you're thinking in that moment. And it's been the biggest game changer for us. So we've made it a point, with our income to set aside, we're going to invest 3 to 10% every year into our growth and into the academy and the masterminds. And it's paying off.
It's working.
Every mastermind we went to and come back, we're like, man, going up. Everyone, we come back and growth. And we were actually able to take our directors to the last one.
Right. In San Antonio.
Nice.
And they had a blast. And we're seeing the fruits of that.
Yes.
10 times over.
Yes. Taking your directors and having your leadership team be part of it and developing them into actual leaders instead of just managers is a game changer for the owner, for sure. And so I love that you said all that. I'm glad that you're getting so much out of it. It makes my heart happy, of course, to also have you share the fact that, you didn't do a lot with it early days. And there's a lot of members that have that, where they just kind of didn't make the time or weren't able to get out of overwhelm enough to make the time. They just couldn't figure out their stuff. What I say, they're on the hot mess express for a minute. And then they like kind of get it together and they're like, okay, they see this light, the light bulb, and they're like, all right, we're all in, we're going to take it seriously. Just like you said. So I love that. So thanks for sharing that. I heard you mention earlier that Solomon is the visionary. And you're more of the integrator operational COO, Michelle. So are you guys following EOS as a model, or are you kind of just using those terms and kind of dipping into that? Where are you at with that?
We've dibbled and dabbled with it a little bit.
Yeah.
We haven't went full throttle with it.
Yeah.
But we want to in the future.
Yeah. It helped give us language for what we do, because before it was so integrated, but the EOS did help us like clear boundaries. This is obviously what you do. This is what I do. Let's name it this. Let's build up our management team. And then eventually we would love to get an EOS integrator into to come out and to help us and our team. So I'm excited for that. But yes, we do.
We read the books.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those people that don't know, you can start with what the heck is EOS, but we've used EOS since 2018. There's not one other single, besides being in mastermind groups, there's not one single thing that we would point to that has been better for our business than EOS. The clarifying piece for me is the accountability chart, like to have clear job descriptions and roles and responsibilities so that people don't cross lanes. Because I do feel that sometimes when you're growing your business, you'll be like, oh, well, Sally has a little extra time, so we can take her from being the enrollment specialist and we can just also put her over here and she can do a little bit of HR. And it's like, no, now Sally's going to be a mess. Like she doesn't know what to do first. So I love to rely on that structure and have job descriptions written and have part-time, full-time, and just be very clear. So that's really, really important. I used to ask this question all the time on the podcast. I haven't asked it in a while, but I'm going to ask you guys, what is your definition of a childcare rock star? How do you define it?
You want to go first? You want me to go? You want to go first? I'll go. Let me go first because you know what you're going to say.
Okay.
I would say a childcare rock star is somebody that leaves a positive impact on whoever they come into contact with, whether it be the kids, whether it be the teachers, whether it be your program director. You just have that, like, you leave your imprint on whoever that you come into contact with, and you inspire them, and your presence just brings a positivity about childcare. That's what I would say a childcare rock star is.
Nice. Love that.
Love it. I would say a childcare rock star is someone who has the ability to never stop growing, never stop learning. And then along with that, the ability to do it. Because I feel like so many people, they learn or there's information, but the lack of implementing what you're learning is a big stopping point. So definitely I would say someone who has a growth mindset and someone who has a just do it mentality.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. So what is next on the horizon? What are your goals for the rest of 2023 and into 24 and beyond? I know you're going to reopen your third center. And it sounds like you're going to buy your buildings, 2 of them, so those are 2 huge goals.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you're driving towards in the next 6 to 12 months?
We're currently rebranding our logo. We had a new logo made probably about 6 months ago. And now we're rebranding our centers to look like our new logo. So getting some painting done, getting some new logos on the front, some window decal. So getting them ready before our third one opens.
Nice. Awesome.
Yes. And with that, we actually just came back from viewing a 4th center.
Right.
So we're just scoping it out, checking it out, and seeing what the possibilities may be. So we may be 2023 third, early 2024 number 4.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic. I love that we are the wind beneath your wings on this expansion. One thing I want to ask you before we close is around staffing, because you talked about in 2020 getting rid of the toxics out of the building that needed to go anyway. So now that you've become stronger leaders and entrepreneurs and visionaries, how do you hire differently, or how do you feel about hiring in your market to be able to fill these expanded schools? Are you ever nervous about, what if we can't find staff, or what if we can't find good people? So talk a little bit more about that.
I wouldn't say I'm nervous, because I feel like there are a lot of people out there. It's just finding them. So we do spend a lot of money in marketing with letting go a lot of staff. My biggest thing is making sure that they're coming into the right environment. Once we get them in the door, 9 times out of 10, they're sold just because of the feel when you do come in.
Yeah.
So we're constantly marketing. We're constantly having Indeed posts go out. We're always hiring. And that's something that we did learn from the academy, was you're always hiring. Because I think it was one of our coaches said, even if you're fully staffed, it will come a day where somebody's going to put their 2 weeks in. So you have to constantly be having applications coming in, constantly, do that marketing. But then 2, on the other aspect, making sure that we keep our culture up, making sure that the director is positive every day when you come in, or making sure you're celebrating the current staff so they go tell their friends, and then getting out in the community. If one time I think I was driving through White Castles, is here in Louisville, Kentucky, and somebody had just a really good attitude. And I was like, hey, if you ever need a job, you can come to Logan's Treehouse. And she was like, well, I have a son, so this works out perfect. But Louisville is so it's a small city, but it's a big city.
Yeah.
So it's really just getting out, with your shirt on and handing out cards. And if you do see like somebody today was getting my hair done, she was like, oh, I would love to work there. I was like, well, come on. So
nice.
I feel like it's just an optimistic look to it. I feel like and being in the academy, it helps you change your outlook on staffing, because there's people out there, you just have to go find them.
Yes.
And so we do our part, and we think the rest is gonna fall through and come.
Yeah. You got the right mindset, and you have great energy. I can just tell, when we've met and hung out, but even the energy that people will get from you guys through the Zoom is you have a warmth and a loving nature. You're very kind. And I think people respond to that, And so I love that you're pulling people from other industries, whether it's a hair salon or fast food. I love that. That's what you do. That's a successful entrepreneurial approach to hiring. So,
and our thing is, you don't have to have experience. We didn't have experience in childcare. We did not do childcare. I was at, we was both at corporate America, but as long as you're willing to learn and grow and you have a positive outlook on life, you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
So kids are fun. So
because our experience has been, honestly, Kris, the people that have the resume, the background, and things like that, we have people who have no experience, and they've been the best teachers, directors, employees that we've ever had, just because they don't have the mindset of they know it all.
Right.
Yep.
They already know the way. They come in with a growth mindset, and we're able to teach them, get them into our culture, and they blossom.
Yeah.
Yep. Growth mindset is everything. That's why it's in the center of the Academy method. The CCSA method it's all about your mindset. And I love the willingness to grow piece.
Yes.
You got to have that wanting to grow and just blossom yourself as a human being. So I love that. So love your leadership style, love what you guys stand for. And I can't wait to see where you take it. Louisville is lucky to have you, and the parents are lucky to have you, especially from your story of what you were facing 6 years ago and crying in the parking lot to today. You should be very proud of yourselves, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, Kris.
Thank you, Kris, so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for being on the podcast today. Anything else you want to share as we close?
I want to share, again, if you're not a part of the Academy, if you haven't been to a mastermind, if you're on the edge like we were of, getting babysitters and all those things like that, setting up your travel, go ahead and do it. Have that just do it mindset.
Yes.
Just do it one time, like that one time. And then once you get there, you're going to know this is what I should have been doing a long time ago.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that. Share your website, if you will, and or how people can get a hold of you if they want to learn more about the amazing Logans and their Treehouse.
It's so you can go to www.loganstreehouse.com. And again, we're in Louisville, Kentucky. And if you're ever in Louisville, because the Kentucky Derby is here, you can come and see us.
Nice. I like it. Well, it's on my list to go to the Derby and get a big old hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I do that, I'll come by.
Absolutely.
And we'll have a mint julep or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. Very good.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. Michelle and Solomon Logan, it's been my great pleasure to interview you on today's podcast. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. I hope you liked this episode of Childcare Rockstar Radio. If you did, please share it with someone you know and help spread the word to your friends in our industry and on social media. Childcare business success is my passion, and I am honored to be on this journey with you. As a thank you for listening, learn more about how to grow your business and make more income with our brand new free quiz, the What's My Number One Income Killer quiz, exclusively for preschool and childcare owners. Take the quiz today at childcarequiz.com to discover what your number one income killer is and how to solve it. Take care and God bless.